Welcome. So today I'm going to come in with a reminder for us all, and the caption on my live video today is "The story guides us to the truth." And this statement came out earlier today when I was having a conversation with an individual, and we were talking about the story of one's life, right? And how that story determines the conditioning, how it determines the behaviors, the relationships, the wounds, the pain, the suffering, all that sort of thing that we experience. And also the awarenesses, the development of self, the self-awareness. So the statement, "The story guides us to the truth," came up. And I'm bringing this to you today as a reminder that you are not your story, and yet the story is important because it does guide us to the truth. We've all had experiences in our life where they have been ones that we wished not to remember, ones that maybe we feel sorrowful about, where we inflicted pain on others or where pain was inflicted upon us in some way. And we want to push those stories out. And there's this this way of being with them, of saying, I am not my story. And yet we are not our story, we are of our story. And there's a difference there. We are of our story, and we all have a story. And those stories are so important for us because they guide us to the truth. They guide us to the truth of who we are, how we are here to express ourselves, and to our highest expression. So in that way, we can love our story. We can embrace our story and know that it is just that. It is the story. It is not us. And yet it is the vehicle that guides us to the truth of who we are. And what I love about this is that it can bring healing, it can bring awarenesses, it can bring wisdom. It is the evolution of our own karmic stuff that we have sown in past lives that can bring us into a more clearer vision of how we are here to live, how we are here to interact with others, and answer maybe some of those questions of the why and the how did that come to be. Because I really truly believe, and I know that you'll agree with me, is that why, when we ask that question why, it's really a question that we need to be cautious about. Because if we're asking the question why from our victim, then we will find it very difficult to find an answer that satisfies us in our body. If we ask the question, the why, from our higher nature of self, the soul self, we get the pearls, we get the wisdom, we get the learning, we get the transformation, we get the letting go, we get the healing, we get all of that. So think about that. Where do you ask that question from sometimes in your life when you think about like the story? Like when we ask the why, is it coming from your victim archetype, or is it coming from, I'm going to say, your mystic? So the mystic is what I'm attaching the soul aspect of self versus the egoic mind aspect of self. So the higher nature of the mind on this side, the lower nature of the mind on that side. Ego, soul, mystic, victim. So we get to decide, how do we want to be with it? Do we want to be in that place of where our story is guiding us to the truth? Because there's always truth within every story. So that's my food for thought today. That came up through a conversation, like I said earlier, with someone. And what was so beautiful about this is the interaction that her and I were having is I said, the story guides us to the truth. And it was this that just came out of me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it wasn't about me. It was about spirit, right? Speaking through me. And I said to her, I said, wait a second, I got to write this down because I need to remember this because I won't forget it. And that's the thing, is that when spirit is speaking, it is not from us, it is through us, and it's not ours to own. And so very often that is forgotten because it is coming through another channel. All right. Namaste. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this was of some help for you. Oh, hi, Lynn.